But be rest assured that the NDC has no intention to visit mayhem on anybody in Akwatia. We are going in peace and we win in peace. Why? You've made references to Etiwa, Talensi, Cherpuni, Ablikumanov, Akwatia. Some of these ones, the former president Akufo-Addo even claimed responsibility. In Etiwa, for instance, he claimed responsibility for the violence in Etiwa and said they even showed the NDC small pepper. And so when you are giving an account of some violence that we have had in the past, you must be bold enough. And Talensi and Cherpuni, we know those who were behind the violence in those constituencies. And like I said, in Etiwa, your former president claimed responsibility. And I was surprised you didn't even mention Ahiagbah West Wagon.
Yes.
The worst violence that we have seen in any parliamentary election was when party boys were armed with state weapons, state vehicles, state machinery, were at the disposal of party thugs to attack innocent lives. In fact, a sitting member of parliament, who is today a minister, was slapped in his face. A sitting member of parliament was slapped in his face. And when the committee or the commission that went into the matter recommended that, I've forgotten the gentleman's name, the committee recommended that that boy should be arrested and prosecuted. You never did that until you left office. In fact, President Akufo-Addo, in issuing his white paper, justified the assault on Sam George. A sitting president justified the assault of a sitting member of parliament and said Honorable Sam George provoked that gentleman. I've forgotten his name. And so when we talk about violence, that is the pseudonym for the MPP. We would, why? Just at the last 2 weeks, Ablikumanov, a former minister and a former MP went there with pepper spray. You leave your house, an adult, a supposed decent-minded person, Double, the gentleman's name is Double. Now I remember. Double.
Yes.
You have as a former MP, a former minister, somebody who was a minister until somewhere.
You were talking about Justice Emil Short.
Yes.
Commission. Yes.
The commission.
Emil Short Commission. Yes.
The lady left the house with pepper spray. What was her intention, her motive? And we saw her spraying pepper on people.
She said she was defending herself.
So, did she command the pepper spray all of a sudden? She left her house with pepper spray. What was her intention? And this was the same woman who is on record to have shot at innocent people. In fact, people lost lives in her constituency. I'm surprised to hear, I even heard a woman, Awa Kumsin, saying, we have a female vice president. She hasn't called her. President Mahama hasn't called her. Called you for what? What would they call you for? Your actions have led others to their graves.
Okay.
Whoever called them? What made her so special that she thought that President Mahama or the VIP should have called her?
Okay.
Who called who?
I don't want our business partners to call us because it's time for us to promote their products.
But what I'm simply saying is that nobody will call her.
Just 1 minute. 1 minute. Just a minute.
The by-elections and the violence and the history of violence in our country.
Okay.
I don't know who my brother is trying to mislead. Perhaps himself. Okay, so he can forget about the very atrocious history of the NDC. History which they claim. History which flies in your face anytime the NDC is in government. We're going to talk about one today. That the minute the NDC gets into power, there's a certain siege mentality in our country. So much that the military is animated, impunity is replete in our country. People are are put in a state of fear.
Okay.
Just because the NDC is in government. And you are telling us about violence. Violence, who taught violence in this country? Who ruled this country for years, for a decade and more, with violence? Right. Who?
The midwives of the Fourth Republic.
No problem. You see, that history, maybe we should do a program on that, on the Fourth Republic. The Fourth Republic.
Well, the midwives.
The proponents, the people who bore the brunt of it, the people whose backs the Fourth Republic rode.
Okay.
The NDC, the PNDC then, only was a forced participant in that venture. They were not willing.
You've gone off track.
No, but he brought that. I told him to quiet, but he brought that, right? They were not willing participants in the birth of this Fourth Republic. They were not willing participants.
That's fine.
So Moro, the question is that violence, insofar as it applies in our country and obtains in our politics and our democracy, the NDC are the ones who brought that about.
Okay.
The issue is talking about Cherponi, Talensi, and the Tiwa and the rest of it. The people who orchestrated that, whose result we are seeing we saw actually in Ablekuma North, and they are preparing to tell us that it will happen in Etiwa. They are the ones who brought that about.
Okay, Richard,
if there is anything, Moro, I don't know why you are anxious for us to, because when he was talking, you allowed him, you went to break and came and allowed him. But you started with me because he was not here. And that one is not my fault. Because I was here, you start with me.
I beg you, let's end it.
Next time, just say we should wait. Otherwise, I would have waited. But the point I want to make is that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, in case my brother tuned off at the time, claimed that they are revolutionaries, that they were born, bred, and grown in a revolutionary way. Right. So when we are talking violence in this country, if anything will be seen from the MPP part, it's a response.
Okay.
It's a response that enough of your abuse, that we too, we are men. We too, we have men who can respond. That is what you will see from the MPP. But we are not the originators.
All right.
We are not the instigators.
Okay.
We react. And we'll be forced to react if they continue, because we too, we have men. But the idea is that we believe in democracy. We want ideas to win.
All right.
We want to fight on the basis of ideas. But they are the ones always, all the time, instigating violence. And but just before he comes, he's going to come in, obviously. But you see, 2024, you saw what happened? When all of us in this country agreed and said that for some reason, the NDC were the champions of that, said that the military should not be involved in our election. Whilst everybody was in good faith agreeing at that table that we would excuse the military and have the police chair the Elections Security Committee, the NDC were mobilizing, strengthening their vigilante groups, whilst we were busy dismantling, de-escalating. They were building and arming their vigilante. So that on the day of election, there was no force. There was no force. There was no opposing force to them, either from state or from any political party. They had mass up. So they can tell you 2,000 cameramen, 2,000 this, 2,000 sharpshooters, and all of that. Go here. But the point is that violence, as we know it in our politics, was brought about by the NDC, which party my brother Aziz belongs.
Moro,
please come in.
You see.
So you see what you are doing.
You see. I'm sure we should have.
You are the enabler, Moro. You are the enabler.
We should have a full.
You are the enabler.
We should have a full program
on violence
to look at the political history of this country.
Right.
Now, I don't know when my brother became political conscious in this country, but I am proud. And as a party, we don't run away from that our roots is from the PNDC. If we want to talk about coup d'etat, military takeovers, We know the political tradition that initiated that in this country. We know those who overthrew Nkrumah in this country. Why? We are happy. Hey. We are happy. We are happy that we birthed this Fourth Republic. The most enduring republic that we have had in our history. We birthed it. In fact, the foundation of our current democracy is the 1992 Constitution that you boycotted. You are aware. And so we are in fact, we are proud that we birthed this Constitution and we birthed this democracy. We will do everything humanly possible to protect it. If you have forgotten, somewhere in 2000, in the run-up to the 2000 elections, the NPP, you went to the extent of importing dead bodies into this country. I don't know if you know that. Dead bodies were imported. How you got them, we don't know. Dead bodies were imported into this country. Those days, you wake up every day, they find a woman dead somewhere in Newtown, in Ashaiman, and nobody ever identified them. It was later we got to know that these were imported dead bodies. We have gone to that extent. In fact, just after the 2008 elections, when we went to time, we had a leading member of the NPP who was orchestrating with the judiciary at that time, the Chief Justice at that time, to overturn the will of the people. The voice recordings are there. That is your traditions track record. And when you talk about media, attack on media, you have so forgotten.
Nobody has talked about attack on
Latif
media.
of Joy FM.
No.
Multimedia.
Correct. We're going to talk about that. But nobody said that.
Was brutalized. His car got injured. Latif of Multimedia. He's still there. In fact, at a point in time under your tenure, Manasseh Azuri, who helped you guys to come into power, had to flee this country. Still, we don't know the murderers of Ahmed Swaleh. But if for nothing at all, we have heard Sexy Don, the gentleman who is in custody in relation to the murder of Ahmed Swaleh. We've heard him say those who came to meet him and contracted him to go and kill Ahmed, that was JB Dankwa, your own sitting member of parliament. We've heard that guy mention names, those who came to contract him to go after JB Dankwa. We have soon forgotten about Caleb Kuda of City FM and Zoe Abubedu, that young lady who was chased even to the studios of City FM and manhandled. We have forgotten. And so if we want to look at the attacks on media personnel, we have done well, even in opposition. Your vice chairman recently had to throw away TV3 microphones in broad daylight. Even in opposition, you are not learning. And so if we want to look at attacks on media people, I am happy that with this one, President Mahama and the government has issued a statement. We have condemned it, and we are calling for swift investigations. The Ghana Armed Forces have issued a statement that they are looking into the matter.
You're referring to the Magdan event?
Yes. And so it is not just about the event happening. What is the response of government when it happens? What was your response when all these issues happened? How did you respond to it? When the matter happened, within 3-4 hours, the Minister for Government Communications issued a statement on the instructions of the President, condemning it and asking the Defense Minister and the Minister for National Security to look into the matter.
Okay.
Works have begun. That is the difference between the NDC and the NPP.
All right.
We have taken governance to a different level. Ghanaians hold us to higher standards than they do to you.
Okay.
We will not say the media have become impotent. We won't use such a words on them.
Okay.
We think that the media is even holding us more accountable than they do to you.
Let's move on.